Everyone's fed up with politics, I keep hearing. There's no point to any of it. All the parties are rubbish, all the MPs and councillors are on the make. There's nobody worth voting for. But just imagine for a moment that we're back at the beginning of the 19th century when less than 10% of the adult male population had the vote. Haverhill is a town of 27,000 people now, of whom say 5,000 are under 18. That leaves 22,000, of whom half are women. That leaves 11,000, less than 10%. That would be about 1,000 people. What would you think if only 1,000 people in the whole of Haverhill were allowed to vote in governments and local authorities? By 1867, the figure was 32% of the male population, about 3,200 in current Haverhill. And that is about the number who voted for the new Police and Crime Commissioner in last November's election. So we have not moved on at all from 150 years ago. Oh yes, everyone wants a say, everyone has an opinion. There'd be an outcry if anyone tried to stop someone else saying what they think. When it comes to actually doing something, like putting a cross on a piece of paper, that's a different matter altogether. It's Suffolk County Council elections on Thursday next week. Probably the organisation which has the single biggest effect on all our lives in Haverhill. It will be extraordinary if more than 30% of the electorate turn out to vote here. There is a widely held view that people only become councillors to further their self-interest in some way, or to build their own little empires, or to swan around at posh functions and feel important. In my long experience of councils and councillors, there have been few of any of these. Much more common are people who naively become councillors thinking they can make a difference, and then either cannot fully understand the issues and make the arguments, or get ground down by the political system against which they're not courageous enough or confident enough to speak out. Much as I could not abide Margaret Thatcher, her refusal to let any political system grind her down was much to be admired. She said what she thought needed doing in the simplest possible terms, and wouldn't accept any obfuscation from civil servants who tried to blind her with science. Not every local councillor is going to have her intellectual capacity to make the arguments which will cut through the inertia of bureaucracy and political systems. But a willingness to say directly what should be done and not take no for an answer is a good starting point. So if you are going to the polls on Thursday, which I sincerely urge you to do, make sure you find out a bit about the candidates rather than just checking on their political colour. Most who stand as councillors in Haverhill do it more as representatives of the town than of their political parties. In the end, that is what we're looking for. But the best outcome for Haverhill would, of course, be a hung council, in which the political wheeling and dealing can be used to our advantage by canny and clear-sighted representatives. So get out and vote.